It was like not looking like it was going to go through, and it was like all this, it was like, it was messy.
I mean, the infidelity was like, I only knew about it at the end. And then, so I think the substance abuse was the, and one thing Chloe always tries to, instill, I think, in all of us is let's wake up and be so grateful. During times when I just felt maybe not at my best, I remember just going with him and all the kids.
Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian once seemed destined for a fairy tale ending. From the moment their whirlwind romance hit the spotlight, it felt like a love story scripted for reality TV. A picture-perfect beachside proposal in California. Not one but 3 grand wedding ceremonies and the birth of their son Rocky in November 2023. All signs pointed to a blissful union. Even longtime doubters started to warm up, noticing Kourtney's newfound glow and Travis's effort to leave his wild Blink-182 lifestyle behind. But the public narrative has taken a dramatic shift. A shocking revelation has turned their love story upside down. In a jaw-dropping twist, Travis Barker has reportedly confessed to having had a secret fling with none other than Kim Kardashian. Whispers about Travis's interest in Kim had circulated for years. His own memoir hinted at the pull he felt toward her, long before Kourtney entered the scene. The bombshell hit harder when his ex-wife, Shanna Moakler, openly accused him of cheating on her with Kim. While Travis had always denied that claim, he had admitted to being attracted to Kim back then. Then came the twist no one anticipated. Rumors exploded that Travis finally admitted one of those long-standing rumors was true. That at least one of those secrets might have actually happened. This alleged confession has thrown a harsh spotlight on an already delicate Kardashian family dynamic. While Kim and Kourtney have gone out of their way to present a unified image, fans had long suspected underlying tension. With their Hulu show's new season set to drop on May 23, 2024, eagle-eyed followers had already picked up on the sisters' strained body language despite their polite appearances. Now, with the alleged affair exposed, it's becoming clearer that their issues run much deeper than sibling rivalry or business feuds. Travis's explanation only poured fuel on the fire. In a brief interview, he described his admission as part of a personal healing process, calling the affair a painful misstep from a chaotic time in his life. But that excuse did little to soften the damage. For Kourtney, the betrayal cut to the bone. Already carrying the weight of Travis's past confessions, including infidelities during his marriage to Shanna, she was now forced to confront an even more heartbreaking truth. She had always believed those misdeeds happened before she came into his life. That belief has now been shattered.
No, only...
That's the rumor. I know y'all are just friends, right? Or are you really dating him?
We're friends.
You're friends?
Yes.
Why are you smiling that way?
We're friends.
You're smiling as if that maybe it's beyond friends.
I've been smiling this whole time.
Now, the devastating possibility that her own sister may have been part of Travis's long history of infidelity has cast a heavy shadow of distrust over Kourtney's world. What makes it even more painful is that Kourtney and Kim never fully healed from the moment Shanna Moakler publicly accused Travis of being obsessed with Kim long before he ever dated Kourtney. Kim was quick to brush off Shanna's accusations as exaggerated and twisted, but the narrative refused to die. Kourtney, trying to rise above the noise, chose to focus on the thrilling spark she shared with Travis. She was drawn to his rebellious edge, and fans couldn't help but point out how radiant she looked whenever she was with him. But behind closed doors, Kourtney wrestled with the haunting doubt. Could Travis ever truly commit? His past spoke for itself. He had cheated on Melissa Kennedy and again on Shanna. He even once joked that monogamy wasn't really his thing. Looking back now, that remark feels far less harmless and much more like a red flag that Kourtney might have brushed aside too quickly. Meanwhile, Kris Jenner is fully in crisis management mode. As both mom and mogul, she's trying to balance her protective instincts with the reality that some scandals, even for the Kardashians, can spiral out of control. Sure, drama has fueled the family's fame in the past, but Kris knows there are certain lines that can't be crossed without serious consequences. And Travis's confession, especially with Kim involved, is dangerously close to that line. Privately, Kris has urged Kourtney to keep communication flowing. She's encouraged therapy, either as a couple or with the family, to keep the situation from exploding into a full-blown media circus. But even as she manages the emotional side, Kris is also watching the brand. If public perception turns, business ventures could take a hit. Kim's reaction to the whole mess might be the most layered of all. She's reportedly told friends and family that she never meant to hurt her sister, and that if anything ever happened with Travis, it was a fleeting moment from his wilder years, not something intentional or malicious. Still, rumors won't die. Some insist Kim once enjoyed the attention Travis gave her, at least superficially. Whether she actually reciprocated is a point of debate. Conflicting sources tell very different stories. Some claim they only ever flirted, while others say they crossed the line more than once. Either way, the damage to her relationship with Kourtney is undeniable. Family events have become awkward, tension filling the room. Kim might offer a quick, polite hug to Kourtney, but everyone can feel the frostiness. Khloe, ever the peacemaker, tries to smooth things over, but even she knows this scandal hits deeper than their usual drama. And, in the midst of it all, Kourtney is questioning whether the man she married deserves her trust at all. She's always prioritized a calm, balanced home life for her kids, Mason, Penelope, Rain, and now baby Rocky. Unlike her sisters, she deliberately kept a separate household from Travis early on, hoping to ease the transition for all their children and avoid disrupting their routine. At the time, it felt like a thoughtful, modern arrangement. But now, that setup has only fueled speculation about whether the marriage ever had a stable foundation. Insiders claim the couple still spends a lot of time bouncing between their two homes, another sign that the cracks may run deeper than anyone realized.
And one thing Khloe always tries to, instill, I think, in all of us is let's wake up and be so grateful, grateful that I'm filming in my house or going to Khloe's house for the day or with my sisters, with my mom, with my kids. So I do feel like, taking, we all have our moments where we're like.
Between juggling childcare, doctor's appointments, and after-school schedules, Kourtney is constantly trying to keep her home life running smoothly. Meanwhile, Travis is endlessly on the road with Blink-182, and every time Kourtney gets a vague or delayed response to a message, a familiar unease creeps in. She can't help but wonder if the secrecy and infidelity of Travis's past are starting to resurface again. Some fans still cling to optimism, pointing to the Halloween moment when Kourtney dressed up as Kim's iconic 2013 Met Gala look as a hopeful sign of sisterly solidarity. They saw it as proof that, no matter the chaos, family ties could survive anything. But others weren't convinced. To them, the tribute felt like a performative stunt, one meant to deflect from the swirling rumors about Travis and Kim. Maybe Kourtney hoped to send a message that all was well and the gossip had no weight. But then came the avalanche. Accusations of an affair with Caitlyn Jenner. Allegations that Travis hadn't been honest about his past feelings for Kim. Shauna's old interviews about his cheating ways began recirculating. What once lived in the tabloid shadows exploded into the mainstream spotlight. Travis's confession, no matter how much he framed it as a one-time mistake from long ago, pushed the whispers into full-blown scandal. Kourtney's inner circle is deeply worried. Caring for a newborn like Rocky is already emotionally and physically draining, and now she's facing the crushing weight of betrayal on top of postpartum demands. Her friends say she's sleeping less, pulling back socially, and becoming more guarded than ever. These days, she focuses much of her energy on her Poosh brand, rolling out content centered on mental wellness and self-care. The irony? She's urging her audience to find balance and peace while her own life is in complete disarray. The pressure to film the family's upcoming Hulu season adds another layer of stress. Producers want authenticity, they want the drama. But Kourtney, who has always been the sibling least willing to exploit personal pain for ratings, now finds herself at a crossroads. Does she open up about her heartbreak on camera? Or does she risk backlash by keeping it private and off-screen, even if that decision might impact viewership? Meanwhile, Travis isn't faring much better. Touring was already grueling, but now, he's carrying the weight of a crumbling marriage and public backlash. Backstage sources describe him as distracted, scrolling endlessly on his phone to monitor the latest headlines linking him to Kim. On stage, he still delivers with wild, explosive energy, but as soon as the lights dim, he turns inward. Some of his bandmates worry the old Travis is creeping back, the chaotic, self-sabotaging version that once tore through his relationships like a wrecking ball. Even his close friends, the ones who were there during the emotional war zone that was his relationship with Shauna, have urged him to be brutally honest with Kourtney. He claims he is. He says he's finally owning his mistakes, no longer keeping secrets about Kim. But at this point, Kourtney's trust is hanging by a thread, and every new revelation feels like another rip in an already fraying bond. And if that weren't enough, Shanna continues to stir the pot. She tells the press she wishes the best for everyone, but her words drip with thinly veiled jabs. On social media, she throws out subtle digs about history repeating itself in Travis's relationships. And she's made it clear to more than one tabloid that she pities Kourtney if she thought she could change him. Shanna insists she's only speaking out to protect her kids from emotional damage, but her statements always seem perfectly timed to reignite the fire. Kourtney, trying to maintain her dignity, has avoided responding publicly. But in private, there are moments where she can't help but wonder, did she step straight into the same nightmare that Shauna once lived?
During times when I just felt maybe not at my best, I remember just going with him and all the kids, whether we'd go to church or to an art museum or we went to the Happiness Museum one time with
and
all the kids.
He loves that shit with you. Like, he loves Disney, like...
Right, or coming over and decorating gingerbread houses or carving pumpkins. We used to go to...
Oh, there's that episode that he comes...
Yes,
to
and
to
does gingerbread houses. And we did that every year. It's like, it does make it really easy. Like, we just all know each other and each other's intentions, and I think it makes it easy.
Do you have a favorite tattoo of his?
The Kourtney, of course.
Kourtney is the best
He
one.
also has my lips.
What?
And I did my own tattoo. I tattooed him. I wrote, "I love you" in my cursive writing.
Script? And
then, no, I did it.
Right.
I put it on.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I did the gun and did it.
What keeps Kourtney up at night isn't just the headlines, it's her kids. Her number one concern is how all this noise is affecting them. She's always been vigilant about protecting their emotional well-being, but now she's watching even more closely how they're coping at school, what they're seeing on social media, how they're handling the non-stop swirl of Kardashian scandals. Most of the Kardashian children grew up learning to brush off the paparazzi. But this is a new level of ugly. The implication that Travis might have betrayed Kourtney with her own sister is far more disturbing, something no teenager should be forced to process. Mason and Penelope, being older, are likely starting to piece things together. They may not know every detail, but they can sense the tension. And that changes how they interact with their family, especially when the lines between personal and public are so blurred. Meanwhile, Travis's own kids are also being dragged into the mess. They genuinely like Kourtney, but they're nervous. They're worried this scandal could further damage their relationship with Shauna, or worse, tarnish their dad's reputation for good. Sure, the adults technically have the final say when it comes to decisions. But it's the kids who bear the emotional brunt as the world picks sides. Some fans blast Travis for his past behavior, while others throw shade at Kim. Kourtney, caught in the middle, has become much more selective about stepping out in public with Travis. Gone are the over-the-top PDA moments, the gushing captions, the endless carousel posts flaunting their romance. Their once buzzing social media presence has gone quiet. These days, Kourtney posts about motherhood, introspection, and wellness. Travis, on the other hand, sticks to his music. Joint posts are rare. When they appear, they look stiff, like a PR move rather than a spontaneous couple update. Fans have noticed. Is this just a move toward privacy? Or is their relationship quietly unraveling? The speculation is loud. Some tabloids claim the couple has already consulted lawyers about a potential custody fight over baby Rocky. No one from the family has gone on record, but the silence is telling. Kris Jenner, usually the first to refute or reframe a narrative, has stayed oddly quiet. And in this world, silence doesn't just speak, It screams. It suggests that behind the scenes, the Kardashians are scrambling to prevent a full-blown meltdown with serious brand fallout. That silence might mean one of two things. Either the family genuinely doesn't know how to move forward, or they're buying time to get their ducks in a row before dropping a formal statement. The drama isn't just personal, it's also logistical. The production team behind the Kardashians is now in crisis mode. Yes, drama sells. But this type of drama, one that suggests a potential romantic entanglement between Kim and her sister's husband, could destabilize the entire series narrative. How do you include that without making the show look like a scripted circus? That's the big question. In early production meetings, Kourtney made it clear. She's not interested in doing emotional breakdowns on camera. She won't sit for confessionals unpacking Travis's betrayal. And if producers push, she might pull out of filming altogether, robbing them of a key storyline. But not addressing it at all comes with its own risk. Fans are already discussing the rumors online, dissecting every clue. If the show glosses over the obvious tension, they'll call it fake. So now the creative team is stuck, trying to thread the needle, acknowledging the storm without exposing the wreckage. And even as the Kim drama overshadows everything, more chaos swirls around Travis. That old, strange rumor about a secret fling with Caitlyn Jenner still makes the rounds, usually treated like a bizarre footnote. In any other season, that alone would have hijacked the tabloids. But now, it's barely a blip. Compared to the possibility of an affair with Kim, it's tame. Friends watching from the sidelines have seen this pattern before. Travis bouncing from one wildfire to the next, creating mess after mess and leaving emotional fallout in his wake.
And your kids will never know because they were born into it.
Well, I say, like, every summer I want to start, like, getting a house in the middle of nowhere, like literally in the woods.
Yeah.
Like a tiny cottage.
Yeah.
That you could just
And
hang.
like
But your kids would be
Sleeping
going,
Beauty.
We're cameras,
Where
Mommy.
are we?
Totally.
Right.
Like I need it. Like, and every time I travel though, it is just like getting out of LA and like, cause it's never as crazy as it is in LA or New York.
As you're starting the new season, do you ever think to yourself,
People close to Travis just shake their heads at how these controversies keep stacking up. They say it's part of his rock star DNA. He lives fast, crashes harder, and somehow always walks away from the wreckage like it's no big deal. Chaos doesn't just follow him, it fuels him. That full throttle energy may look thrilling from the outside, but to those inside Kourtney's circle, it's exhausting. They're seriously worried about how she's supposed to maintain any kind of emotional balance when her life feels like it's constantly one text or headline away from imploding. Still, every now and then, there are glimpses of normal. A couple of paparazzi snaps showed Kourtney and Travis at a low-key dinner with friends. But those in the room say the vibe was tense. No hand-holding, no PDA, just cautious small talk. Then there was that family birthday party. Kourtney leaving early, eyes downcast, while Travis lingered behind, glued to his phone. When paparazzi shouted questions, he muttered, "Family first," and nothing more. No follow-up, no explanation. Just more mystery. Everyone's speculating. Fans, tabloids, even people inside the Kardashian camp, they're all trying to decode what's real. Meanwhile, Kim? Her silence is louder than any statement. Her social media is polished to perfection. Quotes about growth, flawless selfies, business meetings, but absolutely zero mention of Travis. Not now, not ever. During a recent brand collab interview, a reporter tried to probe about the family tension. Kim smiled, shut it down, and redirected the convo like a pro. The message is clear. She's not touching that topic, no matter how loud the whispers get. Some fans see her calculated calm as cold. They say she's dodging accountability and pretending like the affair rumors are just noise. Others believe the whole thing is being exaggerated, arguing that maybe Travis's confession was more about a past flirtation than a full-on betrayal. Still, the damage is done. Kourtney, for her part, has leaned into the only Kardashian who's been through similar emotional chaos, Khloe. The two sisters have been spending more time together lately, and sources say Kourtney's been opening up about the emotional weight of it all. Khloe, having weathered her own very public heartbreak with Tristan Thompson, has been a steady voice of reason. She's reportedly suggested couples therapy, telling Kourtney that if there's still real love, a neutral third party could help unpack the mess without letting emotions spiral. But whether Travis would ever agree to that is another story. Sure, he talks about wanting to be better. He's been honest about his past, about trying to be a rock for Kourtney. But then his behavior tells a different story, one that keeps inviting chaos right back in. Critics say he doesn't just stumble into drama, he creates it, thrives in it. And while that might work on stage with Blink-182 at home, with a newborn and an emotionally worn-out partner, it's a recipe for disaster. That's the real clash here. Kourtney wants calm, structure, a sanctuary. Travis? He lives in the eye of a storm. And now that fundamental mismatch is threatening to tear their world apart. Fans are watching every movement, dissecting every silence, every post. Because the stakes? They've never been higher. At the start, Kourtney and Travis looked invincible. Tattooed, passionate, rebellious, like a fresh chapter for the Kardashian brand. They were the wild card couple, shaking up a family known for playing it safe. But all that intensity masked a shaky foundation, one built on years of unresolved issues, half-truths, and buried secrets. And now with Travis openly admitting that he did cross a line with Kim, that foundation is crumbling fast. A line was crossed that could fracture the entire Kardashian dynasty.
How much better I feel when I'm not on it as much. And I do think it's important, for work, or, there's moments when I think it makes sense, but I try to almost give myself limits, like, okay, like I get up in the morning, I say a prayer first and set an intention for the day. Then I just try to not really check that stuff until after my workout. At least, usually after my workout, I shower and then I kind of start my work. They hate me. We had Rob's birthday party on Saturday night.
I saw.
And he had this huge cake, and I brought them these gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate chip cookies.
No.
But I warned them in advance. They were fine. Kim was like, North would never do that. She was like, at least you're thoughtful, and brought them.
Now, the couple is cornered, forced to reckon with a betrayal that goes beyond tabloid gossip. This isn't just celebrity drama anymore, it's personal. Deeply personal. If Kourtney can't find a way to truly move past it, no grand romantic gesture, no red roses or candlelit apologies from Travis will be enough to save them. And that possibility is becoming more real with each passing day. The pressure is relentless. The Kardashian-Jenner machine keeps rolling forward. New product drops, branded partnerships, teaser trailers for the next Hulu season. But all of it feels like white noise compared to this scandal. The story is just too explosive, too personal, too raw. Even fans who followed the family through years of chaos are left stunned, scrolling through their feeds as fresh claims emerge, leaked messages, cryptic texts, insider whispers of shouting matches and betrayal behind closed doors. Kris Jenner, ever the matriarch and master strategist, keeps urging everyone to stay calm, stay on script, and think of the long game. But even her well-oiled PR playbook is starting to wear thin. Kim, for her part, sticks to the same line. If anything happened with Travis, it was years ago, long before he and Kourtney were even a thing. Travis backs her up, saying he's not that reckless guy anymore, that he's evolved, that he's trying to be better. But Kourtney, she doesn't know what to believe anymore. Her trust has been chipped away piece by piece, and she's starting to wonder if she's clinging to a fantasy. Friends and family, exhausted by the ongoing drama, have started urging the couple to vanish from the spotlight, just for a bit. A reset, a quiet trip somewhere remote. No cameras, no headlines, just space to breathe. But for a couple so embedded in the DNA of celebrity culture, going off-grid is easier said than done. If Travis skips tour dates, the Blink-182 fanbase will erupt. And if Kourtney pulls out of the family's filming schedule, the Kardashians might be forced to scramble, plugging her absence with rushed manufactured plotlines to fill the gap. Meanwhile, the rumors won't stop. Every cryptic post or vague quote only fuels speculation. Fans and insiders alike are bracing for a big reveal. Either a stunning reconciliation, complete with vows, diamonds, and a shiny new narrative, or a headline-grabbing split, messy and public, playing out in real time? That's the tipping point. Can they rebuild from the ashes, or is this the moment everything falls apart? Kourtney might have already dropped a hint. A recent Instagram story featured a quote about releasing anything that disrupts your peace. No names mentioned, no direct reference to Travis. But the timing? It was hard to ignore. It read like a quiet declaration that she's nearing her limit. Travis, not to be outdone, has posted his own cryptic reflections, short lines about regret, personal growth, and learning the hard way. A silent tug-of-war unfolds, each post subtly trying to shape the narrative, paint a version of themselves the public might still root for. Yet as the dust from Travis's confession continues to swirl, one thing is clear. This is no longer just a tabloid headline. It's a make-or-break moment. Either they fight to rebuild a foundation that's barely holding, or they accept that this chapter has run its course. So what's next for the Kardashian-Barker saga? Will it be a glossy vow renewal? A PR-perfect show of unity that silences the critics? Or are fans about to witness a raw, emotional unraveling? A breakup that unfolds with every painful detail under the harsh glare of fame? One thing's certain. The storm isn't over, and the next chapter is going to change everything.
We have a cold plunge, and I think also you're technically, I've seen mixed things about if you should do it while you're breastfeeding. So I haven't been doing sauna, cold plunge, or any type of those wellness things. I actually spoke to Andy because I'm building a wellness
So he's gonna
section at my home.
He's the best.
To have those things, because you think about it, we dedicate these.
Ironically, this chaos, this emotional wreckage, might just hand the Kardashian reality show its biggest ratings yet. But at what cost? What was once a love story, Travis helping Kourtney overcome her crippling fear of flying, Kourtney bringing warmth and light into Travis's life after his near-fatal accident, has now been swallowed whole by a scandal so messy, so personal, that those sweet moments barely register anymore. The tabloids no longer see a passionate couple redefining love. They see dysfunction, betrayal, and a marriage teetering on the edge under an unforgiving spotlight. And the real damage? It isn't just to Kourtney and Travis. It's a slow, painful tear through the Kardashian bloodline itself. Kim is no longer just a sister. She's the epicenter of a bombshell that could shatter the very foundation of Kourtney's family. Kris, ever the master of brand management, now finds herself juggling crisis control while privately fearing for her daughter's mental state. The siblings? Torn. Unsure of who to trust, afraid that one wrong comment at a family brunch could light a fuse they can't put out. The world is watching this implosion in real time, eyes glued to every leaked message, every cryptic post. And while fans demand closure, a final statement, or a dramatic televised confrontation, the people at the center of it are flailing in the mess. If Travis truly wants redemption, vague Instagram quotes and moody selfies won't cut it. He needs to own every detail, lay it bare, every text, every moment, every misstep with Kim. Because if he doesn't, those unanswered questions will haunt their relationship until there's nothing left but regret and what-ifs. For all the tabloids gain from endless speculation, the people actually living it, Kourtney, her kids, her sisters, are left to suffer, in silence, carrying the emotional fallout that never makes it into the headlines. Whether Kourtney decides to stay and rebuild brick by fragile brick, or walks away to protect her peace, that choice is hers. But whatever she does next won't just reshape her future, it'll redefine how long the public's obsession with the Kardashian dynasty can endure before it all feels too real to enjoy. Because beneath the makeup, the luxury, the perfectly lit brand deals, there's a reality that can't be filtered. Some betrayals cut too deep. Some scandals can't be turned into story arcs. And no matter how many meetings Kris holds or how many scripts the producers rewrite, the pain lingers. This chapter in the Kardashian-Barker saga is unlike anything they've faced before. Raw, complex, and alarmingly human. If there's no press release, no official comment, no legal filing in the coming weeks, then the rumor mill will only keep churning. The idea of Travis Barker secretly hooking up with Kim Kardashian, once seemed laughable, outrageous clickbait. Now, it's the headline on everyone's lips. Whether it was a fleeting moment or something much deeper, the damage is done. There's no erasing it. No going back to those dreamy coastal proposals or curated couple selfies. The couple that once radiated defiance and romantic chaos now finds itself in unknown territory, one even the Kardashians haven't mastered. So here we are, stuck with the question no one can answer yet. Is love strong enough to survive a betrayal that slices through both marriage and sisterhood? Or are we all just waiting for the final match to ignite the last flame? For now, the world watches, refreshing feeds, reading between the lines, and holding its breath to see how Kourtney and the Kardashian empire will respond to the bombshell that might just blow everything apart.